goal is to share people's incredible stories in the hopes of encouraging you to keep going no matter how hard it is and to show you how loved you are by your Heavenly Father. You are about to hear Eric's story. Eric stumbled out of the car he was living in and passed out in the grass in front of a liquor store, just wanting his life to be over. His drug dealer found him, and you will never guess where he took him. Watch to hear the whole story.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Eric Barks. I lived here for about 25 years, and I work at True Purpose.
So Eric, I'd love to hear your story. Tell me about your life before you came to work at True Purpose, what your life used to be like.
Well, I grew up as a military brat. Moved up here when I was 16, got in with the wrong crowd, and by 18, I started doing drugs and drinking alcohol and got into addiction. And that was all the way up until about 19 months ago.
Wow. That's a long time. A lot of pain, I imagine, and suffering during this time. So you after that many years quit, right? Came out of it. How did that happen? Like, what was that encounter? Like, what happened that made you say, I don't want to live in addiction anymore?
I always knew I didn't want to stay in addiction, but it just kept reoccurring. Then finally one night, I was laying in the grass of a liquor store in the middle of the night, trying to figure out how to just end it all. And a person came and picked me up, took me to the hospital, introduced me to True Purpose, and got into there.
Wow. That's amazing. I think it's interesting you said you always wanted to come out of addiction. So do you think that most people who are in addiction want to come out of addiction and just don't know how or don't have the resources or the strength?
Like with me, I knew I wanted to, and I knew I was self-destructing myself. I didn't know how, where, or what to grab onto to try to get out of it. And I even tried a secular 30-day program a few years ago, and I used the moment I got out. I think it didn't help me at all.
Wow. And so someone picked you up. Did they find you in the grass at the liquor store?
Yes, he was actually my dealer, and we had a mutual friend that was in the program at the time. He came out in the middle of the night looking for me. I was living out of my car at the time, and I was just passed out in the yard at that time. And he came and found me and picked me up, took me to the hospital.
Wow. So from the hospital then, did you go straight into the program?
About a day later, I went to CR that next morning or next evening. And then I spent one more night out, and then the next day I was brought into True Purpose.
Wow. So you've been 18 months, you said?
I'm in
Sober?
19, a little over 19 months clean now.
Wow. That's awesome. You said you wanted to be clean. So was it just the fact that you had the resources, or did something change in you when you went into the program that allowed you to stay clean?
Well, that night in the yard, cleaning the grass, I told God that, I'm done. Like, either something has to change right now, or I'm done with everything. And then the series of events happened to get me into True Purpose, and the discipleship program there allowed me to dive deeper into finding out who God was and me having a relationship with him.
That's awesome. Did you know who God was at all before? Like, did you have any knowledge?
I did. Growing up as a Southern Baptist, though, it was always a vengeful God. It wasn't a loving God. So I was more scared to not go to hell than to know and love God and have that relationship.
Yeah. I heard one of the guys that we interviewed was in addiction, and he said he wasn't afraid of hell. That's why the pastors at some churches never affected him, because he was living in hell.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until he understood that there was a God who loved him that he decided to seek him. Is that sort of how like, as you went into the program, you started learning who you were and learning that there was a God who actually loved you and showed you grace? Is that what gave you the strength to keep going?
Yeah, and knowing that, I have God's DNA in me now, that I'm part of his family, that he is my father and Jesus is my older brother. And being part of that family and connection gave me the hope to know that there's a better life than what I was living.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your life today. It looks a little different. 19 months clean. Tell me what you're doing.
I never thought I'd be 5 minutes clean, no less 19 months clean now. But now I'm actually working at True Purpose Ministries as the house director at the men's campus in Maryville.
Awesome.
Yes.
So you get to see lives changed every day.
Every day. Seeing them, new ones come in to the older ones that are leaving, and their whole journey along the path of them getting to know who Jesus is themselves.
I love that when you were in that darkest moment that God didn't let you stay there. And when you cried out to him, he gave you this life radically different than you could have ever imagined.
Yeah, I mean, I went from being in addiction to now I'm helping guys get out of addiction. Nothing I ever thought I would be able to do. And God just said, just wait and see. And I know his plans for me are good.
So what do you think is the number one thing that would help someone? It doesn't have to be number one, but what's some advice that you would give or something that you would love to say to someone who's laying in the grass right now, desperate, they've lost hope? What would you like to say to them?
There is hope. It's through Jesus is where you will find who you are, not what the world says you are. And that it's never too late. You can, any moment, just decide that you want to quit and then just seek him out and he'll show you how to get through it.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of our slogans. It's never too late, right? You cannot run too far from God. He's always right there.
He's always right there waiting.
Yeah. You said for 20 years with you, he was right there waiting for you to finally surrender.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I told him when I was about 18, I was like, I just want to be free and live in the world. And he let me.
Yeah.
But then when I was finally done, he was right there, hands out, waiting for me, pick me back up.
That's right. I love it. And no judgment, no condemnation, just love.
Just love.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I want to talk about love because I think that the world has a twisted understanding of what love is, what love looks like. Someone who hasn't experienced the true love of God, they think that they know what love is. So tell me, back in those 20 years that you were living in addiction, what you thought love looked like or what it was, and then what today, how you would describe love differently now that you've been through this experience.
Through my addiction, love was what people could do for me. Just a companionship that no matter what, I could still receive and take from them. And they would still be there, even if I just abused the situation enough. But they just kept giving to me. And now, love is what I can do for other people. It's how I can be of help. It's what I can do to help them out. It's not about me anymore. It's all about trying to serve other people, help them out, make them feel loved, like the Father showed me.
That's awesome. He set the greatest example, right?
He did.
Jesus just served and loved and cared. And that's exactly what you're doing here in the program. Like, you turned everything around and you're serving men who were in a place like you were, and you're able to not condemn them and encourage them. And that's just awesome.
It's amazing. Like I said, I never thought I would be doing something like this, but I can't dream of doing anything else right now either.
Yeah, I love it. So is there anything else that I didn't ask you about? Anything else that you wanted to add, either about your story or something you would say to one of your guys that comes into the program? Was there anything I missed?
Any of the guys, I would just tell them to just keep trying to press into God. And if you don't understand it's something in the Bible immediately, it's okay. Just keep reading. That's the main thing. And the Spirit will reveal what needs to be revealed when it's time.
That's right. Yeah. We can't get it all
No,
immediately, right?
no, got to start with the milk and honey, and then work our way up to the meat.
Yes, that's right. That's good. Awesome. Well, I'm grateful that you came today, shared that story. I believe that there's people who are in that moment that you were in 19 months ago that are seeking for something to grab onto. And I believe that just hearing your story and seeing how you found that and the dramatic change in your life, I think that's really going to encourage people and bring them hope.
Thank you. I hope so too.
So thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much for watching. Isn't Eric's story incredible? Wow. I love the redemption that we can clearly see in his life that can only come through a relationship with Jesus Christ. Eric mentioned that he worked at a place called True Purpose. If you are struggling with addiction or want to help others who are, I encourage you to check this organization out. They do an amazing job of helping men and women not only lead lives of sobriety, but also they help them find their God-given purposes. Join us next week to hear another incredible story. Be sure to subscribe or follow so you never miss an episode. But most importantly, I pray that you know, no matter how far you have run from God, it is never too late. There is always hope because you are loved.